Welcome to Cultivating Courage, a podcast exploring fear, courage, and stepping into a life filled with purpose, connection, and love. This week, our guest Kat gives us a sneak peek into the world of improv and sketch comedy. After that, we chat about the various roles we play in all worlds of work, romance, friendships, and family. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Cultivating Courage. I am your host, Kristen Robinson. I'm the founder of Thrive Coaching Studio, and we host workshops and boot camps to help people explore their fear and step into their greatness. I am joined today by Matt Maxwell. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm a professional coach. I work with organizations and individuals to joyfully create the success that they yearn for.
Ooh, I like that. Have you been working on that?
No, that just came out.
Oh,
that was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you might want to use that.
Okay, I will.
And today we are super excited to have Kat on as our guest. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Kat is one of my friends. Mm-hmm. She is in the theater and music world and is just generally fabulous. So we're excited to have you.
Thanks. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome.
Kat, what do you want us to know about you?
Oh, man. I don't know. I guess we'll make some discoveries today. I don't know. I do some improv and sketch stuff around town, and I like to play guitar with some of Kristen's friends, and I don't know. The rest we'll find out.
Well, from my perspective, you're pretty accomplished in the improv world.
I know.
So maybe you could be a little more specific, because I know people like I do improv, and that's basically me, which means like I took a few classes and performed twice. Yeah, I do improv.
Yeah,
but
like
more on
that?
that. So share a little bit more about what you're up to. It's pretty cool.
Sure. Thank you. I just finished the directing program at Second City, and I've toured on a ship with the Second City, and I teach it there and at the IO and perform at IO and on a couple teams, and I enjoy playing around on stage.
Yeah, so for those who are listening, in Chicago, Second City and IO are kind of like the two premier improv/sketch comedy places. I mean, IO might be, I don't know how you'd say which is better, but basically they're the big
different.
comedy places.
They're very different.
They're very
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
They each have their own kind of focus and specialty, but in the Chicago comedy improv scene, they're like the places. And tons of awesome, amazingly talented and hilarious people work there. And Kat must be one of them. And I think I've actually seen her perform, but I can't say for sure.
Which means I must have made an impression.
She was, no, I'm sure. You had that one character. No, I remember laughing. I laughed.
Yeah,
I remember laughing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's super cool. And so the directing program at Second City, is that sketch directing?
Yes. So it's learning how to become a Second City style director, so that you could, in theory, direct for Second City.
Yep.
So Second City was founded on the model of improv to sketch directing. Yep. So you kind of learn a variety of directing skills there. But basically, now, in theory, if they wanted to hire you to become a director there, you potentially could have the skills to direct for their touring companies or for other shows there.
Cool.
So sketch, yeah. And
you just directed a show for one of your classes.
You saw the my final project, which was an original show that the actors wrote and performed themselves. Yeah.
Cool. So just in case people listening aren't sure what this is, I'm going to see if I can describe it, and then you tell me if I've got it. Okay?
Sure.
So like she's saying, Second City is kind of the idea at Second City is improv to sketch.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go see like a main stage show, it's sketch. Mm-hmm. It's basically a set, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's an improvised portion. But it's basically set sketches like people would see on SNL.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yes.
So that's what most people like. That's sketch comedy.
Yes.
It's like they're in the moment. There's a little room to play, but they're basically set performances.
Yes.
But they're derived from playing around in improv.
Hopefully,
Creating,
in Kat's ideal
playing
world,
around.
yes.
That's the idea of Second City. So Second City is an improv place and sketch comedy, and they kind of merge it and allow improv to maybe generate some of the sketch material.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes. Now, you can bring in pitches or scripts to say, hey, we're going to do this. But in my ideal world of creating sketch comedy, you create it together through improv. So if Kristen and I were, and this is how my particular show is generated, like if Kristen and I were in a, like, oh, I had this idea for a mother-daughter scene, instead of me being like, here's a script, I'm going to play this mom who has this weird quirk and you have to say these lines as my daughter and I wrote this script for us. I would much rather see my actors create it together through improv, and so Kristen gets to derive her own lines herself out of what she wants to say as the daughter, and so they create it through improv, and then the sketch that they're creating together and then doing for 4 weeks is a sketch that they created together via improv. Now we've gotten away from that a little bit, but that's what the building was founded on, and that's very much what I believe in.
Cool.
That's so cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
I'm just like having these thoughts that it would be awesome to have a discussion about like life lessons from improv.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I've been through
you want to go there? Because I will definitely go there.
Second Cities and IO's training programs. And for me as like an actor who's used to scripts and has a lot of training in kind of like more traditional acting, there's so much that I got from doing improv that I now enjoy because of what it gives me in life.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
but I don't want to go there.
Oh,
we could. I mean,
can we just save it as like a
future episode?
Maybe next episode.
I will say one thing is I forget it in my real life. My ability to pivot on stage, or my willingness to accept like the joy or like ability to like pivot and like go, oh, that's fun, or oh, this turn is weird, or oh, Kristen just did something I wasn't ready for, or like, and the excitement of something new, or the joy of whatever, like, and then you walk off stage and you forget all these lessons that improv or something like that can
so let's maybe review them a little bit. What are the big principles of improv?
Listening, right? Reacting.
And what about
supporting.
what is reacting?
So like you do something, and I, instead of like just doing the thing I was planning on doing anyway, you say you did something that, and I, instead of barreling through what you did and not turning and moving with what you did, take your thing and react to it and pivot based on what you know, what happened based on what you did. Fun, first of all, like enjoying yourself. And then teamwork, support, right? It's funny, there's a game or an exercise we do in improv called Freeze, and it's everybody in the back line. Usually at the end of a show, it's supposed to be like an energy builder, and you hop out, there's 2 people on stage and they'll be doing a scene, and at some point someone from the back line will clap and yell freeze to stop it and get out there and switch the scene up. Now sometimes that's played when you have a hot idea for a bit for yourself, you freeze it and you hop out of there and play. I like to instruct my students to hop out whenever there's a laugh for the 2 people on stage, so that the team so that we can play freeze as a team, who is just like, the audience is receiving just anytime they laugh, freeze, we're out. Anytime they laugh, freeze, we're out. So instead of it being like, I have this hot bit and I'm going to get out there and I'm going to crush, like, but we're leaving people out there for so long, and we're letting them drown. And does that make sense? Or am I talking in like,
no, it's great. So, I mean, I get it because I played it. What I want to know is, okay, and just to add my perspective on that, like reacting, is that like, that's part of the yes, right? Is it whatever I'm given in any moment by my scene partners? Yeah. I say yes to.
Right. Sorry. Yes. And the big one.
It's yes. And, but that's the reaction. That's the, like, I'm not going to plow through and just do what I decided. Yeah. I'm going to take whatever's given to me at any given moment and support it and be with it and respond to that, you know? Yeah. And it takes a lot of training and practice to be able to, because most of us, we know how it should go. We know what the best way for this scene to go is, and like in life, right? Yeah. And so for me, at least, doing improv over like a couple of years of training, there was just a lot of practice of like letting go of my ideas about how it should be and just taking what I was given and expanding on that.
My biggest thing right now and lately is we've gotten to this point of, as like shows like SNL and, you know, all these Comedy Central showcases and all that stuff have now come through Chicago to recruit. A lot of things have, it feels as though we are trying to design stars for the shows, and everyone's kind of, people are interested in comedy to become a star.
Yeah.
To do solo work. But these shows, a Second City show is a 6-person ensemble show. A 10-person Herald team is a 10-person team. Yeah. If we are doing these things, why are we doing them? If you are doing ensemble work, we cannot be doing it as a solo art form. So my biggest frustration...
Can I pause you there?
Yeah.
Because I got a thing that I want to ask about.
Oh, God, what?
Well, if we were to take that, and maybe a couple of the other things we've talked about, and you just said, as soon as I walk away, I let all those lessons and practice like fall out the window. I'm paraphrasing, and I don't even know what that means, fall out the window, really. But all right, so some of the big lessons from improv world, right, are like, yes, react in the moment.
Yeah.
Make bold choices.
Yeah.
Support your team. Work as a team.
Yes.
Right. Success as a team. And you mentioned that you have all this like brilliance in that world, and then you walk out into your life and like.
I didn't say brilliance. First of all,
I perceive it as brilliance.
Yes, I agree.
Expertise.
Yes.
Practice. Yes. Okay. So what happens in your real life?
well, no, I think I'm, first of all, I think I'm supportive in my real life. I think I have a lot of confidence. I'm able to be a cheerleader in improv, or when I'm assigned a role as a director or a coach or something in improv, I 100% step into that. I can be the leader in a room very, very easily. And then, as you guys probably saw earlier, I was just very quiet, and I feel sometimes like I don't know. I don't always do that for myself.
You don't
cheerlead.
You don't cheer for yourself or support yourself.
Yeah.
And like own your greatness outside of the improv world.
Yeah.
What is it?
What?
Well, you just kind of said yeah in a way that I wasn't sure if you actually agreed. I wonder what it is.
Yeah, I said yeah because like I don't even, the idea of owning my greatness, I don't like. It's like, what greatness? You know what I mean? Is the feeling.
Gotcha.
You know, but I'm not trying to, you know, be like, wah wah.
Yeah. Don't be like
Debbie
that.
Downer.
Here.
Oh God.
Here
There
we
she
go.
goes again.
But that's the feeling that comes up when he's like, own your greatness. Like, you know what I mean?
No.
But I'm used to, but it comes very naturally to be like, okay, guys, we got this, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, but one thing we talked about was like, oh, how do you get up at the start of the day and feel good about doing that for yourself?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what would you like to get from our conversation?
Well, maybe how do you get up in the start of the day and do that for yourself? I don't know.
Well, what I'd like is for, in addition to getting to share just your awesome energy with our listeners, I would love for you to walk away from our conversation with something that makes a meaningful difference in your life.
Well, that'd be good too for me, Matt.
And for all of us, that, you know, you being open about what's going on and where you'd like to go and getting something for you will probably get something to other people too.
Yeah.
So what would you like to get? You said something about waking up in the morning.
I'd like to wake up in the morning. James. I should say, I was telling Kristen this. My therapist has told me that I've been using humor more and more lately, and I'm not allowed to anymore. Meaning, I've been a little bit more down, and I keep using it to like deflect You know, so that's what's up with that.
Can we come back to the question?
Yeah.
Okay. If you're ever lost, just tell me.
Well,
the question was.
Well, that's what I mean. So I'm circling.
Okay.
So like that's what like I'm doing that. So let
Yeah.
me think.
Hey, well, let me just pause you for a sec.
Yeah.
Because it's totally human.
Yeah.
And I also grew up where, in a way that, like, if I could make people laugh, I was safe and protected and walled off.
Yeah.
You know? And so I totally get it. It's totally human.
Yeah.
And you guys might just start noticing. I think there's times we just naturally are funny. And I've started noticing when people ask me really pointed questions, my mind immediately goes to how I can make it into a joke. That's it. It's just like automatic defense. Joke time. So I don't have to, like, reveal myself. You know? Which is fine. Unless I want to have, like, intimate, real connection with people.
Yeah.
And the humor will get in the way of that sometimes. So just to normalize it.
Yeah.
Is that what goes on for you?
100%. Maybe we could look at that. Yeah, I would love, honestly, some tools for approaching feeling better about myself day to day. And you know, one thing that is tough for me, here's a specific behavior. I don't like going home at the end of the day because I'm a little bit lonely. And I think if I felt a little bit better at the beginning and the end of the day, then I would like to go home. How can we help that?
So tell me what you'd, so what I hear is.
Is that bad? Is that enough?
No, you can
is
ask.
that something to work on?
We'll keep working. We'll keep looking at it. You're doing great.
I'm trying really hard.
You're doing great.
And I didn't make a joke there.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. So what I heard was, let's just be with the laugh of uncomfortableness. That's good. You're doing good. And by the way, you can't do any of this wrong. There are a few rules that if you break them, you'll be ejected from that chair. But otherwise.
But we don't like to tell people what the rules
No,
are
I'm
ahead of
just
time.
kidding.
So
Cool. So what I heard was, and by the way, like, just to normalize it, I hear you.
yeah.
I think you're not unusual.
Yeah.
So
You're
what
not
I hear
alone
is
in
that, like, I don't really feel great when I go home at night, and I don't feel really great when I get up in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel in between getting up and going home? Like just during the day?
I think I try to stay busy.
Yeah.
So I'm someone who I wake up, I try to stay busy, I go to work, I go do things after work, I go teach classes. So I'm gone from, 6:30 or 7 in the morning until like midnight, and then I go do it again. And so I really don't sit with myself ever, and that's intentional.
And so it sounds like something you'd like to get from this conversation is what? A way of...
Engaging with myself, or like starting to. Like there are times when I'm like, it's not, I don't know how to say it. It's not that I don't recognize, oh, you're talented, or oh, you're funny, or oh, this. It's just like there are still times when I'm like, you're an idiot, or like, oh, I'll get drunk and I'll get really like, I hate you, like, and
I hate you to yourself?
yeah.
Yeah.
And what's that about? Like, how can I expect to have like a meaningful, how can I move forward with, I just feel very stuck in a pattern. And
What is the pattern?
I just like, I wake up, I'm busy all day and night. I often stay out because I don't feel like going home. I keep busy to just like be around people. I don't feel like connecting to one particular person. And I don't quite know what I want out of someone or something. I don't quite know what I want out of a job or a location.
By someone, do you mean like in a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Or a friendship or
probably a relationship. I have wonderful friends.
Yeah.
I don't know where I want to be exactly. There are so many things that I like to do that I never pursue one thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many types of people that I like that I never, you know what I mean? I just feel very like kind of stuck.
Like you're getting up, working, doing your improv, directing, teaching,
Mm-hmm.
busy, out with friends.
Mm-hmm.
And the sensation is that like your life's not going somewhere.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
How would you like it to be?
I don't know.
Well, it sounds like you're sharing all that as if you don't want it to be that way.
I don't want it to be that way, but I don't know how I want it to be. And I think sometimes I don't make a move because if I pick a thing, then it's like I can't do this other thing, and then I can't do this other thing.
Mm-hmm. So how would you like that to be?
I don't know. Like sometimes I think about like if I could just teach all the time and quit my job and then gig all the time and teach and but that's not realistic, and I need better.
Let me pause you a little bit, because it sounds like you're going to a little bit of like the how, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
How will I get the life I want?
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't actually distinguished what the life you want is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how would you like life to be for you?
Like, wave the magic wand. Don't think about, is it realistic? Can it happen? Just like ideal world. What does life look like for you?
Yeah, and I think for you it might be helpful to step out of what your life is like what you're doing, and just how do you want life to be for you? How do you want to experience life?
I don't know. It's so weird. Every time I think about that, I picture myself like in a cabin playing music. Like I picture just playing music all the time, performing and doing like artistic projects all the time. A lot of things that I then am like, I go back and I think, how would we do this? And it's not realistic. What I want to do is I want to have a space that is a theater and a bar, and to run it and have like live shows. And I don't like, I know that, and I don't know how to make it happen. And I keep thinking like, oh well, I'll just stay at this day job and like save up, and I don't save anything.
So you have this dream, a vision,
sort of, but not really.
something like, I'm running this space with the bar.
But I
and the
don't even know
theater.
what it is. Yeah.
Well, you just told me exactly what it is.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's right, but you're already like second guessing it and pushing back on what you just shared.
Okay.
Totally okay.
Yeah.
And I'm still curious. Well, let's just zoom out for just a second, because I want to make sure you're getting what you want to from this conversation. Do you have another, now that we've kind of explored a little bit more, do you have more of a sense of what you'd like to walk away with?
So we had talked about, you had shared kind of how do you get up in the morning and how do you wake up in the morning?
Well, now I'm like, I don't know. How do I get my own bar?
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
right.
wondering. Is there anything
Yeah.
else coming up that's like, oh, what I'd really like to get
Well,
from
maybe
this
we should talk
conversation
about
is-
that.
What do you want? I mean, the thing is that this is your choice, what you want to get from this. So we're not going to be like, hey, Kat, here's what we think you should want to get. It's just up
Why
to you.
don't you?
Because you're the expert.
Yeah, but I'm not. I'm here. I want to. What's highlighted for you guys?
Mm.
What, you're not allowed to do that?
Well,
James, do you
Here's
laugh
the
this
thing.
much usually?
Here's the thing is that what I'm imagining is that if you want us to direct this conversation, you probably want other people to direct your life, and it's happening all over the place. But I don't know. What do you hear? What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
I
How do I curb that?
I don't have to be right about that. Is that what's occurring?
Uh-huh.
And what is the process that happens? What is that?
What do you mean?
Well, I just kind of threw something out there like you want other people to tell you what to do.
Uh-huh.
And I'm wondering, how does that actually show up in your life?
Um, I think I can be a little passive.
Mm.
I think I'm attracted to people who are a little assertive. And I was saying even earlier, I have a lot of interests, and so I'm happy to placate other people's. And I also haven't established myself enough a lot of times. Like, sometimes I need things from other people, and they're willing to like people want to tell you what to do or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And so you let them.
Sometimes.
Yeah. What would you like to get from this conversation?
Okay, how do I not let people tell me what to do?
Okay, cool. Is that what you want?
I don't know. I don't know, dude. This is wild.
Yeah. This is awesome because you mentioned about 6 different things so far, and any of one of them you could empower,
How
and
long
we could
is
run
this
with.
conversation gonna be?
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But it is, and I think maybe to Matt's point, it is interesting how I do think there's been 3 or 4 different things that we could talk about, but you won't commit to just, let's talk about this one. Like, and like they all will end up being meaningful conversations for sure. It's just a matter of.
You don't think any of
which
these?
ones-
We're not having a conversation right now. James is on the floor.
We are. Hey, it sounds like maybe there's some like anxiety and stuff going on.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Totally normal. And you can't do it wrong.
It's
You
true.
can't do it wrong. And it's just so interesting because part of the reason that in coaching, just to like let you in on what's going on, any coaching conversation that I have with a client is always driven by what they request and want to get out of the conversation, not by what I think they should want. That's just a baseline of coaching. The coach is not there to tell you what to do with your life. And so you drive the conversation. You say what you want to get out of it. The thing about that is that it's a little bit of practice in creating your life as you want it. So what we're looking at is not just what are we going to talk about right now. We're looking at when does Kat get to decide what her life is about, and she chooses.
Yeah. And you choose what's important to you and what you want to focus on in the moment.
Okay, that's the skill I want to develop.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do I develop that?
Is that what you'd like to make
Yes.
the subject of this
Okay, let's
conversation?
do it. Let's
Cool.
do that.
Great. Okay, so tell me a
James,
little bit more.
here we go, James.
James is our producer, and sometimes he looks like he's fallen asleep. We
No,
don't know
it's he's like
Okay, let's see if we got it. What you'd like to get from the conversation
yeah.
is
How do I steer
steer what?
my life?
Brilliant delivery.
Okay, cool. So how would we know what would be like? She's just laughing now. She's just laughing. This is awesome. You doing all right?
Yes.
Okay, good. How about we say this? Okay.
We're gonna go to commercial.
No, we're not going to go to a commercial break.
Not another
First of
fuzzy
all,
out.
First, okay, let's make sure we're clear on it. The request is,
This really is what I need.
yeah, I want to learn how to steer my own life.
Yes.
Cool.
I love that.
Okay, it only took us 35 minutes.
Can we do a two-parter?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So how about we call it a wrap here, because at least we got to a request. And by the way, like acknowledging your breakthrough and declaring what you
Yes. Does it feel? Feels good? Yeah.
Feels extreme.
wanted. Extreme. Yeah. Big time. Okay. You are awesome. How do we want to wrap? Can we just like leave them all hanging?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get ready, you guys. Stay
On the
tuned
next episode.
On the next episode.
Kat learns how to steer her own life.
Yikes.
That was awesome. You're great.
For real, guys, come back next week to hear the follow-up conversation with Kat about being the captain of your life. Also, subscribe.